Hello everyone, and welcome back. This is going to be a shorter video today because, again, I've not really had time to prepare. But today, I am going to go through every single type. Yeah, my favourite Pokemon of each type. There's only going to be like one Pokemon per type, and this is going to be as of Generation 8. Maybe once Scarlet and Violet are out, I could redo this if any of my choices change, but as of right now, this is what my list is going to be. So let's start with normal type, and my favourite normal type Pokemon is also my favourite Pokemon. It's Eevee. I just always found Eevee cute, you know? It's really adorable, and I really like its whole gimmick of evolving into every other type. I just really like it, and yeah, there's a reason it's my channel mascot. Fire, I'm going to have to say Arcanine. It's weird because, like, I don't know, like, I really do like Charizard as well, and I think, I think Kanto's Fire-type roster is really strong, in general, but my choice is Arcanine, and can I just say, if I'm not specifying what version of a Pokemon, or what variant, I should say, of a Pokemon, it could apply to this type either way, I'm just referring to all of them. But if I specify, then I specify. But I love both Cantonian Arcanine and Hisuian Arcanine. I think I prefer the design of Hisuian Arcanine, but I've used a Cantonian Arcanine as well in the past. Oh no, a plane. But yeah, I just think Arcanine is such a powerful, imposing presence, and you know, with a decent base stat total, I think it's a worthy member of anyone's team, and if it's available, I would certainly consider using one. Fighting. I'm gonna have to say Lucario. I know it's another basic choice, but I do really like Lucario. There's another fighting type that is going to be on, like, I'm going to cover later on, but as I said, it's one per, so although I don't know if Lucario is my absolute favourite fighting type, my favourite Pokemon of another type is also fighting type, so yeah. But with that out of the way, I think it's because of Smash Bros that I really started liking Lucario. And I used to really hate Lucario because it got into Smash Bros instead of Mewtwo in Smash 4, but then Mewtwo came along anyway, so it was just stupid of me to hate Lucario at that point. But like, I had used a Lucario before as well in, well, Black 2, and I just think Lucario is a cool Pokemon that should be in every dex, essentially. It's because it's one of the more famous ones, and I think it's one that you could market easily because it had the movie, it has the Smash Bros appearances. I think people will recognize Lucario, and yeah, and I'm not saying I like it because it's popular, but I think the fact that it's, you know, I just really like it, and I like how it was like the first proper special attacking fighting type. I think that's really interesting, and they had to figure out how to adapt fighting type into special moves in the physical special split. So I just find that really interesting. Flying Corviknight. Corviknight is easily my favourite flying type. It's just so cool, and I've used it on my team. It was so good, and it's cool and it's good. I forgot to mention Water. With Water, it's my favourite starter of them all, Samurott, and just the whole line in general. Otters are really cute, but that's not why. It's my favourite starter design, and just my favourite starter choice out of all Gen 5 starters, and Gen 5 is my favourite generation. It was my first generation as well. But yeah, it wasn't my first starter, but it's my favourite out of the trio, and I'll pretty much always pick it in Gen 5. Legends Arceus cemented my love for this Pokemon more, because I knew I was going to pick it straight away, because it's my favourite starter, and it's available again, so I'm going to pick it. But then it was so good. it was so good against the majority of boss battles, and I just really like it. Also, Oshawott is one of the cutest mon. Yeah, this is my second favourite Pokemon of all time, and like, of course it was going to be my favourite water type. Grass is another starter. It's Decidueye. Specifically, Alolan Decidueye. I don't dislike Decidueye from Legends Arceus, from Hisui, but I very much prefer the original. Is the original amazing, like, in battle and competitively? Not particularly, but I really like its design. It's so cool. It's our very first Ghost-type starter, and honestly, its design is so striking. I love all three stages, especially Rowlet and Decidueye, and I'm sad it didn't get into Smash Bros, and I'm still salty about Incineroar. To this day. It's not a serious bit of salt, but I still prefer Decidueye, and it's, yeah, well, of course it's my favourite Alola starter, and it's my second favourite starter of all time. Although it's technically third, with Samurott at second if you count Eevee as the starter. But you still get the point. Poison is an interesting one. I'm gonna go with Toxtricity, because it's cool. And I use one in Sword and Shield. Well, Shield, but it's just cool. And it's the first Poison and Electric mon, which I find interesting. I've not got much to say. It's just cool looking. I like how it's a rocker, and yeah. Although I will have to say, with the recent announcement of Grafaiai, I love that thing, and I might say it might become my favourite poison type, who knows. Although I like Toxtricity more than this next mon, I picked Toxtricity for poison, so for electric I'm going to pick Luxray, because again, it's so cool. Like, there are other electric types that I do really like, but one of them is going to be later on the list as well. But yeah, Luxray is just really cool. It's because, like, not until, like, Gen 7 did I really appreciate the electric type, so, weirdly enough. But yeah, so, it's because of BDSP, essentially. For ground, I'm gonna pick Runerigus. I've always liked Yamask as a Pokemon. I found its Dex entry super sad, super creepy, and I remember an episode of the anime with it in, when I was getting into Pokemon, which was around Gen 5, and I've just always found it interesting. So then they gave it a regional variant and a new evolution in Galar, and I found that very interesting. So I had to have a Gen 5 regional variant on my team, because they had 3 of them. I didn't pick Sword because I wanted Galarian Ponyta on my team, because it's a unicorn and it's fabulous. So I couldn't have Darumaka or Darmanitan. I didn't particularly want Stunfisk, but I was perfectly fine with Yamask, so I got it, and then I also got Runerigus, and I think Runerigus has got one of the most interesting Pokemon designs as well. Like, it just looks so eldritch in appearance, and I just really like it. It's really striking, and it looks like no other Pokemon in existence, but like, that appeals to me, and I really like it. And I don't know if there'll be a ground type that could challenge that. I don't know how long there will be until one happens, because I don't think any of the other ground types will challenge that either. Now, I said we were going to get back to another fighting mon, but for Psychic, it's Gallade. I really wanted to challenge myself to, like, not just pick Pokemon from, like, Gen 5 onwards, or Gen 4 onwards even, because BDSP and I really liked Gallade, but nope. I think you can tell where my biases lie when it comes to designs, like Gen 5 and Gen 8, pretty much. But yes, I do like Gallade. It was, again, one of the first physical-based Psychic. and I found that very interesting. I do think it's a bit weird that it's gender exclusive though, because I think that kind of defeats the point of the line, but never mind. For rock type, it's Rockruff. I like all of the Lycan Rock forms, but Rockruff's just cute. It appeals to me on a similar level to Eevee. I was considering making that my channel mascot for a bit, but I just decided. But I decided on Pikachu then, I decided on Eevee. Because, yeah, Eevee's my favourite Pokemon. For a while, Rockruff was my second favourite, but now it's a bit lower, but I still really love it. It's so cute. And, again, I don't think I would do an Alola playthrough without one. That being said, it may not necessarily be my favourite. It really depends on how I continue feeling about Decidueye and how I feel about Primarina, but outside of starters, I would say it's my favourite Alola Pokemon, for sure. Which is weird, because I don't really like Rock-type Pokemon that much. I think they have cool designs, largely, but I never really gravitate towards them. It's weirdly, like, the dog Pokemon that get to me with that, which is odd, I think. Ice-type will have to be Alolan Ninetales. I used one in Let's Go Eevee, and it was so good. It's quite honestly, it's so gorgeous, and the Ice type is so powerful, but yet it had that Fairy type as sort of essentially as a crutch. But still, even if it didn't have the Fairy typing, I would still probably want to use it. Maybe not as much, but again, Ice type is one of those types that's a bit hard to use. But I really like Alolan Ninetales. It's a regional variant that improved upon perfection, I think. And it's beautiful, again, I have to say that. Bug, it is Vikavolt. That's pretty much the only bug type I've actually used properly, because bug types have always screamed to me as worst type in the game, until Vikavolt came along and actually was decent. I mean, it wasn't very fast, which was a bit of an issue, but I really like its design, and it made me appreciate the electric types, and I guess bug types too in a bit. So I would say it's my favourite bug type, for sure. Dragon, I would have to say it's Goodra. Specifically Hisuian Goodra, because that's the one I used, and it was so satisfying to use a pseudo-legendary. I'd used Kommo before, but this time around it had really good defenses, and I mean, sure, it died to an earthquake because it was 4 times weak to ground, but it was very fun to use, and I also like regular Goodra, and I think Sliggoo's fine. And Goomy is so cute. I think the whole line is a very interesting depiction of the dragon type. So there we go. Ghost type, I would have to say Hisuian Zoroark, because it's normal ghost, and that's one of the coolest type combinations, and also it's one of the coolest looking Pokemon. Also, Hisuian Zoroark is really cute, so let's just say it's both of them. But their designs are so striking, I love their type combination, and I mean, I had to pick Eevee for normal, so I'm gonna pick this normal type for a ghost type because it is cool and I really like it. And it was, even though it was only available in the last area in the game, it was worth leveling it up, I think. It was really fun. It's like a Lucario and Sinnoh situation, where it's like it's like you really want it and it doesn't disappoint. Dark type, Galarian Zigzagoon is so cute. I love it. It made me realize how much I actually really loved Hoennian Zigzagoon, and I just really like it. And I think it is the ultimate counter to Ghosts, because it's immune to Ghost and can deal super effective damage against it. Well, other than Hisuian Zoroark. Oh no, it's just really cute and I really enjoyed using it. Steel. I'm gonna have to say Aggron. Aggron is just a really cool Pokemon, and Aron's really cute. I like the whole line. I used it in Oras, and its Mega is also really nice. I think my only issue with Aggron is that Rock Steel isn't as great as you'd think it is, which is why the Mega gets rid of the Rock type. which is why I always see Aggron as more of a steel type than a rock type. But still, I really like it, and I know I've mentioned other steel types on here, but yeah, this is definitely my favourite. And lastly, we've got the fairy type. And I'd have to say the Togepi line, but specifically Togekiss is my favourite of the line, because it just gave Togepi line an extra oomph, and it was really fun to use a fairy type in BDSP. It was really fun, especially Togekiss was already one of the better flying types in Sinnoh. Not the best, that was Staraptor, but now with the fairy type, I'm sorry, it is now the best flying type in Sinnoh. Because fairy type's just that good. You'd think that it would be good against Cynthia's Garchomp, but I don't think anything is good against Cynthia's Garchomp in that game, because honestly, Cynthia is just ungodly difficult in that game. Yeah, that was a challenge. But yeah, I think Togekiss is super cute, and it was super fun to use. So I think that's it. I don't think I've got much else to say. Thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments down below what your favourite Pokemon of each type is as well. And I'll see you next time for another video or live stream. Probably one or the other. See ya!